Hey everyone, welcome back to ESGI Story and a Song. This week we're bringing on one of my best friends as well as a great friend of ESGI, Mrs. Deedee Wills, and we're going to do something a little bit different for all of you because we've read a lot of stories, but this week we're going to share some fun poetry with you all. So Deedee's going to come on, share some poems that are easy for you to learn and easy for you to practice at home, and then we're going to build a really fun summertime snack with all of you. So make sure before this is done and we get to it, you've got your graham crackers, your chocolate, and your marshmallows ready to build some s'mores. But until then, we're going to bring on my good friend, Mrs. Deedee Wills, to share some poetry with us and build a fun snack with you all. So Deedee, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you. So I'm excited about this because we've done a lot of stories that we share with people with some great friends of ESGI, reading some really cool books with everyone. But I'm really excited for you to share some of your fun poetry because I think that's one of the parts of reading or songs that get overlooked
Yeah,
sometimes. So I know you've
right.
got a bunch in units of yours, but we can't wait to hear some. So I'm going to turn it over to you and just let you share some poems with all the families that are watching.
Sure. So one of the things how I started using poetry in my own classroom is something teachers call shared reading. So that's where the students have access to the text, to the written words, and then the teacher has access to the written words, and then you teach various skills based on those words. So depending on what you have there, and depending on what time of year, you might be looking for sight words that they know. They might be looking for letters that they know at the beginning of the year. You might be thinking, brainstorming some rhyming words. You might decide that you're going to add another verse to the poem. And one of the things that I learned very early on is that whenever I had a tune for the song, whenever I had a tune for the poem, students loved it. Like it went from, oh, that was fun to like, I can't wait for this time of the day. So, and I know that was something that as growing up myself, going to camp, all those things, it was my favorite time was to sit together and sing. And interesting, what happens inside the brain is when you couple words with a tune and singing and even movement, more areas of the brain get activated. And so the long-term memory, it is stored differently and easier for students to recall. Interesting, there's all kinds of stories and studies being done on adults with Alzheimer's. And one of the things that helps trigger memories is the use of music. So whenever you can incorporate more areas of the brain in education, it's a win. And then when it's super fun, nobody even thinks that they're learning. So that's the reason why I started using that years ago. Just a fun way to, make it fun. Fun way to make it fun. So clearly I need to expand my vocabulary. You're laughing at me now.
That was so good. All right. So those are great tips. So share with us a few poems that you have, and then we're going to go in and join our ESGI friends to
Okay.
build some s'mores based on one of your poems. But I know you mentioned that you've got a fun dinosaur poem. I
Yeah.
am a huge lover of dinosaurs. Like I'm going to be the first to own one when Jurassic Park really happens because it will happen today.
You'll be the death of us all, Adam.
Life will find a way. And then I heard you have a swimming one, which is perfect because people are probably
Yep.
starting to open up their pools and get them ready. So I'm going
Yep.
to let you share
Okay.
dinosaurs and swimming with all the kids and families that are watching.
Okay. First, I need to let you know, little disclaimer. It's going to be clear in about 3 seconds. I am not a singer. Okay. So just to be clear, on the list of talents of Deedee Wills, never's going to show up. Second thing is, if you do have dogs in your room, you might want to move them out because the howling is about ready to start. But I will sing enthusiastically. I will pretend like I'm in front of my 5 and 6-year-old students because they think, and I'm sure your children, parents who are watching, they think that you have a beautiful voice, so they don't care. It's when they become teenagers that they become painfully honest with you, but right now they don't care. So here's my extinct poem. It goes to the tune of the Oscar Mayer hot dog song, which is interesting. I'll come back to that in a little bit. Okay. Oh, I wish I had my very own dinosaur, like the ones that I learned in school. Because if I had my very own dinosaur, all my friends would think that I am cool. So that's just one. The other poem was one that I learned in summer camp. And it's one of these songs that you sing it over and over and over again, and then you start to omit lines in it. But I'll sing it through one more time. Many of you might already know this. As I'm talking about this, so these poems are something that I have available. But if you go on YouTube and you just Google camp songs, there's a ton of them out there. And if you can get your hands on the printed version of the lyrics and do those with your child, that's where the learning's really going to take place. So just singing them is fantastic, but if they can track print with you, it's a bonus. And so that's something that I would highly encourage you to try to do. Okay, here we go. Swimming, swimming in my swimming pool on days that are hot and days that are cold in my swimming pool. Backstroke, stride, side stroke, fancy diving too. Don't you wish you never had anything else to do? But, and then you go back, in my swimming pool. Anyhow, so that's the swimming one. I could go on all day. All of a sudden, I feel like
I
I'm
love
on.
it.
I'm on
That's so
American
good.
Idol. Like somebody's gonna like take the mic away from her.
No. That's so good. And I loved all the topic that you talked about with how this is important for reading skills too, because a lot of people, we think about songs and poetry and we don't really focus on that so much. But I'm so
Right.
glad you mentioned out too that the kids can track text with this too. So we'll put the link
Yes.
below of where you guys can find these poems from Deedee,
Yeah.
and then you can print them off, sing them with your family, but also it'd be a great way to do like a sight word search or highlighting letters that
Yes.
a child knows,
Yes.
tracking the print as they read along. So many cool ones. I love the swimming one too, because you could even have the students or your children like pick which words to omit, and it become like a patterning and rhyming and all kinds of cool stuff. So we're going to do one more, but for this
Okay.
poem, we're going to bring on our friends from ESGI. And
Yes.
while we're getting that ready, you need to make sure you have your graham crackers, your marshmallows, and your chocolate ready to go, because Deedee's going to share with us a fun campfire song. And while she does it, we're all going to make s'mores together. So whether you have a fire built and you're outside watching this, or if you're any you can put them in the microwave. I don't care how you do it. Just build some s'mores, get your stuff. Let's sing with
Okay.
ESGI.
Hello, hot dog. Hello, s'more. Over campfires, I adore. Roast them slowly, but not too closely, or they'll burst in flames and be more black than toasty. Hello, hot dog. Hello, s'more. Over campfires, I adore. Roast them slowly, but not too closely, or they'll burst in flames and be more black than toasty.